This episode of Outsmart the Hustle was brought to you by Real Life Struggles. But in all seriousness, I am going to talk a lot in this episode about what's been happening in the month of October and why you haven't seen any posts in a minute. But it's been a wild ride, but all is well, truly.
I'm feeling like a brand new me. For the very first time, I'm right where I'm meant to be. Brand new.
Welcome to Outsmart the Hustle, where we turn hard work into smart work, helping you focus on the high impact moves that drive your business forward without getting stuck in the grind.
Hello, everyone. It's finally November. If you're feeling that way too, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a real episode. I thought October kicked my butt, like mentally, not really like with all the jobs and everything I worked, nothing like that. It was just a lot of change. And I'm going to just kind of talk through a little bit of my experience with that because if this is anyone else going through another season of change and if this is going to be encouraging or uplifting to you, then sweet. If your October was awesome and great, also great. Like there's no shame either way. It's just like a really crazy last month. So a lot of changes, lots of changes. For one, my workshop that was supposed to be December 2nd through the 5th, I have pushed back to April 6th through the 9th. So if you're planning to go, please reserve the new dates, April 6th through 9th. The main beef of it will be on the 7th and the 8th because the 6th you just arrive and the 9th that you leave. So if you can't make it on like the 6th, then you could still make it on the 7th and get all of your all the good educational goodies in. But yeah, I had to move it for a really tough decision where we didn't meet our ticket sale threshold. And when I was talking to everyone else I know who's been doing workshops, they're like, yeah, this is really hard. People buy at the last minute. And, people were texting me like yesterday, like, hey, our ticket sale's still open. And I'm like, technically, this is when they would have closed so we could start booking vendors and like all this. And I just feel like when it comes to live events, people do tend to book last minute, but it's really inconvenient. So shout out to all my friends who are planners because holy cow, this is really tough. So yeah, help me out, help a girl out. If you want to go to this workshop, please just go ahead and get a ticket so we don't have to guess whether or not you're coming. Make this as easy on us as it is for you to plan ahead, right? So anyway, we moved the workshop. We got to move around some speakers, so I'll be announcing the speaker lineup after we can kind of settle in on who is staying and who can't make it to the new time. But it'll still be at the same place at La Pomilla in Glen Rose, Texas, and we'll still be flying into the same airport, DFW Airport. So, and the caterer still the same. Don't worry, guys, I got you on the food. So, just just know that the dates changed. That's it. But October was really wild with, someone on my team resigning for a full-time job who was part-time. I mean, that's great. Happy for her. So glad that she found a job that she was like, this is going to help me with my future career path. And I'm like, fantastic, right? The only downside about that is that I end up doing more work when someone leaves, temporarily at least. And we're still kind of in that spot where we have someone who's currently figuring out citizenship through a new marriage, which is awesome. Yet we still have to figure out, okay, like when they come back and can help with editing again for corporate clients, it's like I'm still doing all that editing. So it's kind of like it was like a double whammy where I'm now doing the job of like four people, probably more, but what I was delegating out, I now have taken back on my plate. So just busy, busy, lots of change. I moved out of my office space that I got in April, thinking that, when we hire people on, it would be a good central location in the DFW Metroplex for people to commute. And then everyone ended up hiring, ended up being from my hometown anyway. So I was like, you know what? When things are tight, things are changing, let's just go ahead and move out. So today was the last day to be at my office space. And so it's completely empty. And I'm just sitting there like so bittersweet, like, oh my gosh, this is where I started to scale my company and now it's bye bye. It's not bye bye forever. Still go there for networking events, but it's just like, what a wild time, But here's to new beginnings and let's just see where it takes us and where it goes. And then during this whole process, I had a couple of people who I really trust and respect to tell me to quit. That was tough because I love what I do. I love making films for couples, doing the weddings. I love what I do at Heart Media, which is my corporate videography agency. And, growing and scaling that is really tough on top of keeping a wedding videography business rolling and doing this workshop. Maybe I asked for it, doing a lot, but I also am a girl with big dreams and visions, and I don't like to sit on them. If I have a means or a capability to be able to do things, I'm going to do it and run into roadblocks later and figure out how to solve them rather than never do it just because they're too big or too scary. So we're here now. And I had, some people tell me to quit. And I was like, okay, well, do I quit? Do I even have a game plan to quit? Would I want that? Would that fulfill me? And it was a lot. I had one of them come back and say like, "Sorry, I should be supporting you in this, but also just wanting to be like a sounding board and like of reality, I guess." And I'm like, "Yeah, I appreciate that, but at the end of the day, these two aren't entrepreneurs." And so I'm just like, "All right." When I talk to my entrepreneurial friends, they're like, "This is a season and you're going to get through it and it's going to be better on the other side." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, entrepreneurship is never promised to be easy." And it's kind of like I have found that gutty resilience, and that's just the entrepreneurial spirit, is to just keep going when things get tough. And for me, my faith has a lot to do with this, where I've been praying and praying and praying and reading scripture for so much, right? But this is the first year I've actually taken upon myself to read the Bible all the way through Terry Lee Cobble's Bible recap, and it's been great just to get to learn more about the character of God and something he's been telling me lately. Like, for those that aren't Christian out there, this might seem weird, but I felt like God was telling me, some things must die in order for me to resurrect them. And, part of that for me is like what it looks like to have a relationship with a heavenly father versus like an earthly father who could have some imperfections. And I won't go into the weeds or the details, but a lot of healing and a lot of change is happening during this time. And so the pause on the podcast, kind of makes sense where it's like, let me just take time for me and not worry about schedules. So once the buffer was up, I was like, I'm not going to worry about posting every single week just to catch up. Like, I will record when I record at this point and just be vulnerable with you guys about what's going on in my life. Because it's like, well, if Hannah's not posting, is everything still happening? Yes, everything is still happening. But yeah, it's just kind of wild how things like this can happen. It's just right under your nose. But if anything, I've realized again and again, you can't take anything for granted. Everything is a gift. And people too. People come and go. God stays the same. And I'm very fortunate and blessed to be in this home. My needs are taken care of. Like, I'm not stressed on that regard that I'm going to lose everything because things aren't doing as well. But when plans don't work out, it's like I don't need to freak out about it because, you know, I want to make sure that where I'm going is ultimately going to help people and it's going to have a lot of purpose and mission behind it. And so I inherently believe that everything I'm doing between like telling a couple's love story that they can have for generations to come, telling brand stories for companies with a really great mission, all these things really do matter. And the ways that these companies give back is fantastic. Between the foster kids that we support through CASA, through, you know, just all of the giveaways that we do for our videos, and people who need them but can't afford them. It's just like there's a lot there. And I think in this season right now, I'm trying to figure out how do I keep this sustainable? How do I get cash flow to be predictable on all of these businesses? Like I figured it out for the wedding one, but it's kind of tough when you're trying to scale a corporate business at the same time. So, yeah, I just want you guys to know like I'm doing okay. I just lots of change. Lots of changes happening. So yeah, I think if you're going through something right now where it's like you are feeling burnt out or there's a lot of change, just know that it's seasonal, that it's temporary. We all go through it at some point, multiple times in our life, I'm sure. And like this is not the only time I've had a roller coaster. But I think that the main thing is staying steady and consistent and graceful. Be graceful with yourself. It isn't easy, and if you, especially if you don't have the support to get you through it. But yeah, I mean, like, feel free to reach out if you're struggling and you don't know who to talk to or to go. Like, because entrepreneurial stuff is not fun sometimes in seasons like this. So if you have people that you can lean on to encourage you when things go south, like that's so, so key. Even if it's like an online group, just try to find something because if you don't have that support system, it's really likely that you will quit. When I went to a networking event for one of the wedding professionals things, that day I was really not wanting to show up. It was the same day that those people told me to quit, and I was just having a really sad day. But I was like, the last thing I want to see is people. And but I went anyway, and I was helping with check-in. And I'm like, I don't think I need to be the face people see because I'm literally crying as they're walking up, and I'm like, I think I need to switch. But one of my friends, I speak at her class, she came up to the registration and she goes, I'm sensing some bad vibes. Do you want to talk? And I was like, I'm sorry. I don't normally have bad vibes. But she was telling me that her class, like the favorite thing that I told them was that I told them to believe in themselves. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really got to eat my own words right now because I'm struggling to believe in myself that I could keep this going. I just had two people I really love tell me to quit. She looks at me and she's just like, what? But you're so good at what you do. And, you know, I just have to like remember to believe in myself that I was given these gifts and these talents and I can do it. Yeah, it's tough when you have people in your life that don't get it, but you don't have to necessarily take their advice, and I think that's okay. So when I got into that room, I was so encouraged by relationships that I had built over time because I had way more people than normal come up to me and tell me, "Oh my gosh, I've been seeing the things you've been posting like, oh yeah, they're like beautiful, just so proud of you and how far you've come." And like it was like one after the other. Shout out to Society of Wedding Professionals and thank you for being so encouraging. I could cry, but just like so many people telling me to keep going. And they didn't even know what I was going through. And so, yeah, I will keep going. And even when things are tough, that's just kind of part of being a business owner is that you have that resilience and people will ask you someday, how did you do it? How did you get there? But what they don't see is this. They don't see the grind. And I still inherently believe, take time for yourself. Have a work-life balance. It's not urgent enough to rush yourself to the ground, right? So do things with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind. I do it for God and to benefit those around me, whatever your purpose is. But it's just like a long, tough road to build something from scratch. And I just want to tell you, you got this. You can do this. And I think I'll end on just be intentional with where you're at, whether it's a season of highs or a season of lows. It's just like, where can you be so diligent with your work, your words, and just bring honor about things that you do? Because our words are so powerful. And if you allow the negative words to get to you and to define who you are, they will. But if you give yourself good affirmations and remind yourself of how far you've come, and you have those people who can be like, look, this is what you're doing. This is awesome. it's such a game changer. And I think your network, who you hang around with, is what will keep you going. I don't really know any successful person who's done this alone, truly. Well, whoever that is, go talk to them today. Tell them that you're thankful for them, that you're grateful for them, and that you couldn't do this without them, because sometimes your friends just need to know that you need them and you can build on that relationship. Something else I'm doing right now is competing in some pitch competitions, one for 10 grand and one for 25 grand for my business Heart Media, just because I feel like that it could help bolster the cash flow struggles, the capital struggles that can happen with a startup. And so, we'll see if we get them. I'm trying my best there, but a lot of my time and my effort has been put towards making incredible pitches. So I've been a one-time winner once. Let's see if we can do it 3 times. That's really it. I love y'all. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
I'ma tell everybody I'm feeling like a brand new me. Brand new, brand new. Feeling like a brand new me.
Outsmart the Hustle is produced by Booked by Strategy, a film business course. Follow us at Booked by Strategy literally anywhere for more creative business tips and freebies, and check out the course and live workshop that happens every year at www.bookedbystrategy.com.
Imagine this. You're poolside at La Pomilla in Glen Rose, Texas. Cola in hand, golden hour light, and serve and savor is passing around mouth-watering hors d'oeuvres. You're surrounded by other wedding filmmakers and photographers who actually get it. For 4 days, you'll step away from the noise and learn how to build a business that's both profitable and peaceful. You'll hear from speakers who master sales, storytelling, branding, and communication, all to help you create a business that lasts. This isn't another industry event. It's a reset, a retreat designed to help you get booked by strategy and not by burnout. Join us April 6th through the 9th, 2026 at La Pomilla in Glen Rose, Texas. Only 40 seats available, and you can grab your ticket today at bookedbystrategy.com/workshop 2026. Your business and your peace will thank you.